You're going to have to stomp them and squelch them, basically individually. It's going to be super disgusting. Would you like to read a full description of that, or shall I just move on? I want the gory details. Just to be clear, there is no bonus item or achievement or other special reward for reading the gross version. It's going to be as long as I can stand to make it. Hit me with your best shot. Alright. The sound of me cracking my knuckles. You pick up one of the maggots. It's about the size and shape of a medium to large sweet potato, or yam depending on where you're from. But instead of a brownish orange, it's a sickly white color, ridged like an earthworm. Both fleshy and rubbery, and covered in clear, sticky mucus. It wriggles and pulses in your hand. You drop it to the ground and stomp on it. It bursts with a squelch of a sound, spraying lumps of pallid white flesh and thin, green, yellowish juice in a circle around the point of impact. When you lift your foot again, it sticks to the floor and makes a slurp sound as you peel the sole of your shoe away. Pick up 2 more maggots. They wiggle in your hands as though they can sense what's happening. The mucus covering them and your hands now has the texture and viscosity of a slightly thinned down rubber cement. It glistens in the dim light. It makes strands and webs between your fingers as you close and open your hands. You drop the maggots on the ground and stomp on them, 1 foot each. Splort, splak. The spray looks like lumps of old mayonnaise mixed with the juice from an expired camping glow stick. The added liquid is making the floor slimy instead of sticky now. You have to move more carefully to keep your footing. You approach the pile again. You pick up another maggot. It sticks to your hand and it rises as you can feel it like glue-like mucus pulling softly at your skin. The fluid's pumping around inside it, making it pulse faintly like a slowly beating heart. You squeeze it, gently at first and then harder. It has the rubbery resistance of a half-filled water balloon. Imagine a white balloon partially filled with warm green milk, and how it would feel to squeeze that in your fist. There's a thin, high-pitched squealing sound as it bulges at the end, and then bursts, spraying you with, by appearances, rancid cottage cheese and antifreeze. Now's when you start to notice the smell. This is a true story. Once, when I was in junior high school, I tripped and skinned my left elbow on the sidewalk. A patch of bleeding road rash, a little larger than a quarter. I washed it off and put a bandage over it and forgot about it. Until a few days later, I started to notice the smell. As my classmate sitting next to me also noticed the smell, and wondered aloud where it was coming from. My injury had become infected. The bandage was soaked with pus. The smell is immediately identifiable, but if you've never smelled it, it smells a lot like rotting apples. At the time they gone completely brown and soft, it started to leak and collapse under their own weight. You close your eyes and take a deep breath through your nose. Imagine that smell filling your sinuses except with the undertone of sour milk. That's what you're smelling right now. Pick up a maggot in each hand and squeeze them. They thrash in your hand and squeal, a thin, high-pitched noise like a pinhole in an air mattress. You close your eyes as they burst, and warm, clotted innards splash across your face, then ooze down and drip onto your shirt. You might expect their insides to be cold, as insects are cold-blooded, but in fact maggots generate a fair amount of heat through metabolism and muscular contraction. In terms of texture, it's like being slathered in the face with a bowl of warm bolognese sauce. Or more accurately, it's someone projectile vomited onto your face after eating a bowl of warm bolognese sauce. The smell of rotting fruit and sour milk is thick in the air now. Some of the juice got into your mouth. I don't really have a point of comparison for the taste, but I imagine it tastes much the same as it smells. A little more accurate, maybe? Keep going. Killing the maggots in ones and twos is clearly going to take too long, so you jump as high as you can and stomp heavily into the pile with both feet. The sound it makes is a sort of all at the same time, and you're thrown up your waist in thrashing, white mucus-coated grubs. You lift a foot, but lose your balance and fall backwards into the pile. Imagine falling backwards into a ball pit, filled with overripe tomatoes and long-expired milk. It's like the tomatoes are alive and crawling on you. Now they have covered you, and they're everywhere. You roll around, crushing the squirming maggots beneath you. Feel each distinct burst as the rubbery grubs pop under your weight and spray more yellow-green bile and lumps of white gristle into the growing pile of sour and sweet-smelling slime. Eventually you stop, out of breath but not wanting to breathe. It doesn't matter because the putrid glop has gotten into your nose, your mouth, and down your throat regardless of your desires. I might guess that you had become accustomed to the smell by now, but no. You still smell it. You'll never stop smelling that rotten fruit stench for the rest of your life. You're lying in a pool of chunky maggot stew, covered in the pulp of hundreds of burst grubs. Your clothes soaked entirely through to the skin, with mucus and stinking green juice, every crevice filled with pallid white curds. You are the ungodly avatar of putrescence and filth on this miserable earth. Anyway, thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed it.